Steve Zane here. I'm going to talk to you about putting shade sails on a boat. I've written a few articles on it, but I'm going to do another. I'm going to do a short video on how-tos and pattern laying out patterning, and it all starts with communication with the customer. What's your customer trying to accomplish? Typical shade sail on most boats, they would attach to the hardtop up there, and typically we do a pole in the front on each side. And I'm going to show you a couple things here. So it all starts with communication with your customer. It's the biggest hurdles you're going to have. Like I said, most shade sail is going to mount up here on the hard top, and you're going to mount put two shade sail poles in the bow of your area. What you're going to run into is it's a cost issue with the customer as well. You mount the shade sail up here, and you go to this pole here, you're going to get that kind of coverage, which is ideal for a lot of people. The problem is when the shade is coming in through this area here, the sun's at a slight angle like that, everything is exposed to the sun. So that sun will move through the day. It's not going to just stay directly over your head. So another option would be, say, using just two poles, hooking a hard top and pole in front on each side. Use an additional pole on each side here. Now, instead of going hard top there to this pole here, look how much farther out I'm gaining another 18 inches of coverage on this side, another 18 inches of coverage in it. So I'm getting an extra 3 foot of shade protection for that customer. The difference is you're not getting much more difference, a little bit in fabric, not much fabric. The cost extra is going to be in a couple more poles. But say communication with most of your customers, first time out, they may want just generic 2 poles and quick, easy to do. Experienced boaters are going to understand and appreciate the extra, and also that with 4 poles and then 2 mounts and hardtop, so 6 mounting locations, you're going to get a little bit more stable top. It's going to hold up better when you're running. Next thing you want to do is, key takeaway point you want to remember: rod holders are mounted in boats for fishing poles. They go in this way here. It takes a lot of tension. There's 2 screws in this side of the rod holder and 1 in the front. Put a lot of tension on this way. It's not the way shade sails operate. Shade sails get the pull tension to pull toward this way. So you want to make sure these screws and these rod holders are secure. Ideally, it'd be better to have a backing plate of some kind behind it, because otherwise, when that shade sail's up there, a little wind coming up, you could actually rip that rod holder, if not crack your gun on the customer's boat. YouTube, I got a couple of videos on installing rod holders with backing plates. Take a look at them if you want. It'll help you out. So don't just rely on these are Mate Series cup and rod holder combinations I put in because I needed a backing plate. The top of the gunnel here is only about this thick. There's not really any plywood to screw into, and there's no way of getting underneath it to get access to put nuts and bolts. So I mounted the rod holders with got a horseshoe backing plate that you can install from up here to hold these in place. So key communication and understanding what you have to do is key to everything. I'm gonna pattern the shade sail on this thing. I took measurements, length and width, and I got a piece of pattern material, it's Vickers pattern plastic that I use. You can use whatever you're comfortable with, you know. But I found it very stable to work with. So I'm gonna start and I'm gonna lay out. see it was fairly easy to just put my poles up there, tension it, make just a tiny little cut in the patterned plastic. I don't want to cut a big hole for it. I just want a little part of it. Here's the top of the carbon pole's round. I just want to put like a 1/2 moon cut into it, just enough so I can get a tension on the pole and just go over and latch it on there, just to hold it in. If it's windier, then I might have to cut a little bit bigger hole for it. Now I want to see, you can see how the shade, how much coverage I'm going to get. See how much more coverage I'm going to have on the side here. If I were to go right from this pole to the hard top, you're going that way, I'm gaining that much more shade, especially because if you look at the seating on this boat, the customer will be able to be comfortable and be out of the shade. Right now I'm at it's early morning. I'm out here because I want to catch it before the sun, before it got too hot out here, but the sun's coming through here at, you know, it's just, the sun's just going up. That's why it's got a different angle. There's shade to it, but as you can see, you can get plenty of coverage on this here. So now I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to mark where the poles are here, and I want to adjust because carbon poles, there's a rope with a pulley inside of it where that hook is going to hook to a D-ring, and I'll show you that in a bit. You hook to the top, so I want to subtract probably 5 inches at least from where this here is to allow us for a stretch of the fabric, a little stretch for the rope that's in there, and stretch for the carbon pole will kind of flex a little bit when it's under a little more tension. So I will mark right in the front of the carbon pole here on all 4 of these, plus the mounting spot I've got on the hard top, and I'll show you that. And then I will do my subtraction on the table in the shop. Let me show you the mounting systems I've got. These are the quick release Bimini mounts. That's right for the aft shade. You just slide, pop in there, push the button to pop out of there. I got these on the front. I got those on the back. I wanted to compare that, and then in the front, I'm using the Carby shade buckles. I'll show you a better picture of that. See how this is hooked up there? Look how the pattern material is curved to follow around the hard top there. I got it back here because it's going to mount here and it's going to pull up over the hard top, and that's the only mounting hooks, the only spots that it's going to secure is this point here on each side, the center or the middle carbon pole, and the bow carbon poles to keep it taut. But anyway, these are the Carby shade buckles. Give a little bling to it. You see, that's all you got when you take the shade off. That's nice and clean. So there you go. It's like, that's how that goes. Now what I'm gonna do, it's got my Sharpie. I'm gonna circle around where the Carby pole clip is gonna be, and it's gonna pull at this angle. So I'm gonna go like this because I'll show you when I get this. The Carby shade buckle clip is gonna sew on a piece of webbing, sew it here and pull at this angle here. So I want it like that. Here's the front of the see how I just got it cut enough to hold it. I'm going to mark right in front of the Carby pole here. Then I'm going to do my subtraction there. The pole has a snap ring here. This is going to hook to a webbing with a D-ring. So you want to see how much difference I've got there with the Carby pole. I've got 2.5 inches from the Carby pole here to the edge of the clip of the buckle. So I'm going to go at least 5 inches. So that and I'll do this on a table. That D-ring's going to sew up right about there. It can sew up right there. Now the 5 inches, it's just kind of a approximate. This is fairly small shade sail, maybe 8 by 8. If you're doing a large shade sail, 12 by 12, 12 by 15, I would even take even more out of that, because over time, you get over bigger span, the fabric's going to want to stretch more, and your support poles are going to want to flex a little bit. So I'm going to mark that. See, I got that marked here. Here's the front one. Mount right there. Again, I'm going to come in 5 inches. This 5 inches is going to be where my webbing buckle is going to be secure. So this snap ring will clip onto that when I got it on there, and it'll tension to hold the thing up there in place. There's that. But it's also, because it's from this pole here diagonally over to the other hardtop, I want that strap to pull in that direction. So I want to measure it 5 inches this way, not that way or that way. So I want the pole to come just like that. So I'm going to draw an arrow. And I got 5 inches right there for my buckle. I'll do the same on the side there, and then on the towards aft. Here's the carby pole on the shades on the port side, right in front of there. I'm going to come in here 5 inches like that. The strap is going to pull it that direction. I want to pull from here, port to starboard, like this, and from that I want to pull. And then here's the carby shade sail clip, and that is going to go in there like that. What I'm going to do is also follow the contour, something that's going to flow nicely. So I'm going to follow this, but I'm going to come in here. I'm going to measure, do a sweep, but I just want this as a guide, and I'm going to make that come flow just like this here. And I'll lay this out on the table so that it looks nice and clean. All right, we're back on the workbench. This here is the part. This is the starboard side of the shade sail. This is the hard top. This is where the carby shade sail buckle was clipped through there. Here's the center midpoint bowl on the starboard side. And then here's the mark for the starboard bow. So what I got it laid out here. And I told you on the boat, we measured up from the carby pole. We went in 5 inches. To say that again, that's a number for a small side shade sail. Real large one, you're going to want to go more because of the fact that the flexibility of the carby pole, the flexibility of the fabric, and the stretch in the rope. So now that my carby pole here. This is the carby shade sail mark right there where I'm finishing at. This mark here, 5 inches up, that's where I want to finish off. So what I want to do is measure from the center, from where I'm going to finish off, to where I'm going to mark there, and I've got 58 inches. I'm going to split that in half. So 58 and a half, split in half is 29. Here is center of that. Center of that. What I'm gonna do, because I want to have, if I were just to cut this straight between here, the shade sail is gonna flop like this. So on a sailboat, they have what's called a loaf cut into it. It'll kind of give like a curvature in the fabric. That'll give, so when you get a cut into it, when you get tension on the hard top, the poles, that loaf will actually pull it out and actually make it. It'll still have a cut into it, but it'll keep your shade sail from fluttering on you. So I'm using a formula. It's 3 to 5% between here. So 58 inches times 5% is, it's about, I go about 3 inches in. So here's the center of that. From here to here is 58 inches. I got my center. I'm gonna come up 3 inches. So take my ruler, measure up 3 inches. This is gonna be the finish point of my shade sail. I'm going to do that on, this is the hard top to the mid bowl and to the front starboard bowl, and between the bowl and the bow, between the starboard and the port, I'm going to have another cut in it between the front port bow or port carby pole to the mid one. I'm going to have another cut in that, to the mid bowl to the hard top, another cut in that. because I want, when this is under tension, I want it to lay it nice and flat. So being I got that, so what I'm gonna do, ideally, like I said, I'm using this Vickr pattern plastic. It's very dimensionally stable for me. And I know whatever I make, whatever pattern fits, my shade seal cutouts will be the same thing. So in order to get that curve to it, so that's nice and consistent, you can use a piece of flex rail, small piece of 1/2" PVC pipe works just great. Whatever you got laying around the shop. If you got a bigger span, you know, you can get a 10-foot piece. I just grabbed a piece of flex rail. I have it here. I would rather use a piece of round pipe as opposed to a flex rail because the round pipe is more giving. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an ice pick, bring it to my table, spread my pattern material out. This is going to be my finish point on my where the mid carbide pole is on the boat here. That way. Mid carbide pole here, and then this is the finished part on the hard top. So now I'm going to take my piece of flex rail. You can do it with Costa-Trac. You can do it with some 1/2" PVC pipe. Now I come to my center part here. To get that nice round curve to it, I'm going to push up. Get another ice pick. Push up on my thing here. Put an ice pick right there. Now I get a nice clean sweep here. Take my Sharpie. Get a nice clean mark to it. You can see how it follows the contour there. Nice curve to it. You can cut your excess off if you want all the way. I don't cut mine right on the line. I like to leave just a little bit up on my pattern, a little bit of line on there, so I can actually see it when I lay it on the fabric to cut. Right here. Now I'm going to the bid pole to the bow, to the very front one on the starboard side. Ice pick again. Same thing. I'm measuring between the front starboard pole and the mid pole. I get 54 inches, so I'm at 53 inches, so I'm at 26.5 inches. Get a mark right here, 26.5, right there. So then I want to come up 3 inches from that, not in this angle, but straight up from the edge. That's where I want to finish that one right there. Again, I take my PVC plastic, flex rail, Costa-Trac, PVC pipe. Got my trusty ice pick. If you want an ice pick in your table, if you have a table you can't ice pick, a couple of weights would be just fine to hold it in place, especially if you got a hard Formica table you can't ice pick into. A couple blocks, sandbags, whatever you mainly want to be held here and in the center, nothing else. You don't want it, because if you push in here, that'll distort it. Take your trusty permanent marker. Sharpie's a permanent marker, but it's only permanent on paper and cloth. It's not permanent on plastic. It's not permanent on a lot of, even on wood. What you can do is, I only use black. I don't ever use blue in the Sharpie. Blue, if you go to the Sharpie website, I'll tell you, blue is the only Sharpie color that never dries. So you get a little blue mark on this pattern plastic, or any kind of pattern plastic you got. A week later, it shows up on another part of the work table. Your white upholstery got little blue spots all over it, and you're reupholstering for free. So I just don't even allow blue Sharpie in the shop, period. There's no need for it. And you can see the nice curve you get there on both of them. How it follows the contour there, nice curve to it. You can cut your excess off if you want all the way. I don't cut mine right on the line. I like to leave just a little bit up on my pattern, a little bit of line on there, so I can actually see it when I lay it on the fabric to cut. Right here. Now I'm going to the mid pole, to the bow, to the very front one on the starboard side. Ice pick again. Same thing. I'm measuring between the front starboard pole and the mid pole. I get 54 inches, so I'm at 53 inches, so I'm at 26.5 inches. Get a mark right here, 26.5, right there. So then I want to come up 3 inches from that, not in this angle, but straight up from the edge. That's where I want to finish that one right there. Again, I take my PVC plastic, flex rail, Costa Track, PVC pipe. Got my trusty ice pick. If you want ice pick in your table, if you have a table you can't ice pick, a couple weights would be just fine to hold it in place, especially if you got a hard Formica table you can't ice pick into. A couple blocks, sandbags, whatever you mainly want to be held here in the center, nothing else. You don't want it, because if you push in here, that'll distort it. Take your trusty permanent marker. Sharpie is a permanent marker, but it's only permanent on paper and cloth. It's not permanent on plastic. It's not permanent on a lot of, even on wood. What you can do is, I only use black. I don't ever use blue in the Sharpie. Blue, if you go to the Sharpie website, it'll tell you blue is the only Sharpie color. It never dries. So you get a little blue mark on this pattern plastic, or any kind of pattern plastic you got. A week later, it shows up on another part of the work table. Your white upholstery got little blue spots all over it, and you're reupholstering for free. So I just don't even allow blue Sharpie in the shop, period. There's no need for it. And you can see the nice curve you get there on both of them. So, right, now I'm in the starboard front corner, my finish spot, ice pick. Pull it up nice and flat. Ice pick. And you know the drill. Don't do that. PVC track. Halfway through. Halfway mark was 60 inches. Get a little gap there at 60, which is 30. It'll come up 3 inches from there. Take my ice pick, push my track up. Draw your curve, your arc, I should say. Repeat the process. Finish part on the finish starboard or port front bow pole. This here is the port mid pole. Get 53 inches, 26.5. Come up 3 inches. Now, if this was a bigger shade sail on a bigger yacht, I would do more than that 3 inches. I might go as 5, 6, 7 inches, depend on the span you've got there. And especially if some of the bigger yachts where the shade sails are up there permanently, and it's going to take a lot of high wind while it's underway. You want more. The more of an arc, the more strength you're going to have in there. butt up your PVC track, PVC pipe to the ice picks. Push up in the center here. You get your arc. On the final arc here, I've got mid support carby pole on the port side, ice pick. This is the back carby shade pole hook clip. .61 inches, so I got 30 and a half, 30 and a quarter, 30 and a half, right there. Up 3 inches. You know the drill. PVC. Push up to there. Voila. Now this is the back edge, so you went up over the hardtop. This line here is the outer edge of the hardtop. I want to be up on the hardtop, so I just drew that as a reference so I can get a nice formed arch to go around it. See, this is the hardtop. This is where the fabric is going to come. It's going to come up above, so it's going to ride up on top of the hardtop. Keep some tension on it. I hope this makes it a little bit easier for some of you people. Some of you used to make shade sails for boats, but once you do a few of them, it's pretty easy, and it's so satisfaction. Another product, another thing you can offer your customer. You're already making boat covers and enclosures and bimini tops and T-tops. Now offering a shade sail. Just give your customer a little bit more protection and give some more work for your shop. Now that the shade sail is done, I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is for a customer. And that's what you want, something that's easy for your customer to put up and down. If it's too difficult, they won't use it, and then they'll tell about how bad of a design or whatever it was like that. These are the carby shade buckles I was talking about. You got the little peg there, just like that. It's over that. It's under tension. It stays on there. I don't recommend running your shade sail with your boat up. Shade sails up where your boat is running. I've run mine at 25 knots and not had any problems. I just don't recommend it, just because too many things could happen. But I have if I'm out fishing and we're out there and we're 40 miles offshore, and I'm going another 4 or 5 miles, I'll leave the shade sail up, so I have to put it up and down, multiple times. So I got that one hooked up. You see how I got the fabric up on the hardtop to support it. Here's the other shade buckle. Goes right over top of that, and there. It's not coming off. Now I've got loops on here. My carby poles have a snap hook, and the cover has webbing with D-rings on it. Snap it there. Fairly easy to do for a snap hook, and I just loosely snap it like so. It's going to hang down a little bit. If it's really windy, you want to hang out so the fabric doesn't blow away on you. And then we get the final one up here, just like so. Now, being I'm secured at the top of the hardtop, I'm going to come to the bow. grab the rope. Get the rope coming through the carby pole. These carby poles are adjustable if you need to go higher. Grab the rope that comes through a cam cleat. See how it tensions that right up? Lock it down. Same with the other one in bow. Nice and tight. Now I do the same on the starboard side. Lock it in the cam cleat. Port side. Now you've got shade. You can see if I went with a 2-pole, and use this video if you want to show your customer to sell it to them, to show them the advantage of it. With a 2-pole, I go straight across the hardtop. Look how much more shade you're getting over there, especially to cover the seating area. See it? This fabric here is the Marine Tight Light from Miami Corporation. It's a single coated PVC, very lightweight, but very strong, and it's good for shade sails with covers, things like that. But put it up there so that something customer can take, wipe it off, fold up, stow it away till next time around. They're out there either fishing on the water, cruising slowly. I would be cautious to tell them no shade sails while the boat is in operation. And backing plates on your rod holders. It's a must. A friend of mine told me one time that he tell his customers, he said, if you run with your rod hold, your shade sail up, you know, it's your liability at that, but you could crack your gel coat. Then that makes the customer say, oh, wait a minute, maybe I want to think about this a little bit closer. Because when you got a shade sail or anything else like this, a structure, it's like a giant parachute out there. You put a lot, always like a gust of wind comes and blows on it. It's like when you start hearing the gel coat crack, it's like, it's not like you can stop and say, oh, wait a minute, reverse a little bit. So just, you know, tell your customer to be very cautious and watch what they're doing. So. And everybody's different. When I got my shades, my rope pulled down and the cam cleat locked, I just like to be very particular rather than having these ropes blow around on the deck. Have a lot of chance for somebody to fall and hurt themselves. I just take it, and it doesn't take much effort. Wrap it around there. Wrap it around a few times. Kind of loose is fine. Push it up. Not every boater is going to do this, but I do it just because I like to take care of stuff, take good care of my stuff. Tuck that knot in there. Now you got a nice clean look to the rope here, as opposed to this cluster. So choice of yours. That's not part of making a shade sail. It's just part of, when you go install it, do it for the customer the very first time to give them that wow effect. Whether they do it again or not, that's going to be up to them. But it just makes a nice, cleaner look. There you go. Clean look. Amateur look. Now this thing is blowing around on you in the wind. people are, they're on the boat, using the boat, their friends on the boat, somebody's tripping over it, snag it on their clothes, and just cost too much of a problem for yourself. So take a few seconds and make it nice.